Whoa. So this is Shannon Nicole Kringen in Seattle. It is December 2nd, 2024, and I feel a strange sense of questioning everything. I'm going to try to slow down my thoughts because, as some of you know, I supposedly am on the autism spectrum and the ADHD spectrum and the OCD and the dyslexic and left-handed only child, wearing my Tom Petty button and my opal moonstone necklace that I created with fake opals that matches my art car, wearing my nice green sweater that's comfortable. Gonna go for a walk. I'm thinking of what really matters. I'm thinking that part of me is frustrated about how complicated my life is with technology, and I am thinking of my inner life versus my outer life. I know that everything is connected. I'm a spiritual person. I'm in touch with nature. I'm in touch with myself as part of nature. I see every human as an individual instead of whatever labels we put on them. We are being encouraged to label ourselves in whatever category we fit into. Practically feel like we're going to have barcodes or QR codes put on our foreheads eventually. No thanks. Um, I feel like maybe it doesn't matter. Like my external reality is a certain way. You know how some people are always chasing after work and wishing they could find more work? I have the opposite problem. I have a hard time saying no to people who want to work with me. And I'm so blessed and so grateful. I have a tremendous amount of abundance in my work life, several different jobs, freelance, and random schedule. And I have a hard time saying no to people because I work with really nice people. And let's face it, my personal life is not like I have a few close friends, male and female, mostly male, and I'm dating somebody and I'm making music with somebody and I'm close friends with other people. And so I technically do have a personal life, but let's just say that my family life and my personal life has never really been my forte and what I'm really comfortable with. I'm really comfortable. I seem to thrive and feel like I belong and I fit in the world and have a sense of purpose when I work with people more than I do in my personal or family life. I am an only child. I'm a daughter, but I'm not a mother. I'm not an aunt. I don't have any brothers or sisters. So I'm not a sister or a sibling. I'm not an aunt. I'm only in my family life a daughter. All my grandparents have passed away. They're all dead. So I'm a daughter to my mom and my dad. And I do have cousins and some uncles. I don't have any aunts. I just have uncles and cousins that I don't know very well that I've lost touch with. So I really only have in my bloodline family a mother and a father. And my mom does her art and she's focused on that. And she has a boyfriend and she lives in Whidbey Island. So I don't see her very often. And my dad lives in Florida, but he might be moving back to Burbank, California. Long story. But both my parents are focused on their own separate lives from me. They love me, I love them, but we're not really super close in a traditional kind of way. And I have a love life. I don't want to go into detail about my love life, but let's just say that I am sad in some ways in my love life and happy in some ways in my love life. And I am just going to speak from a spiritual perspective. I feel like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I don't need to be a traditional whatever kind of person I think I'm supposed to be. I've never really been a conformist. I feel like, does it matter that I feel like an outsider artist? Yesterday, I went to an art making holiday party at a fellow art car friend's house. And we had really fun carving a linoleum block rubbery. I don't know why they call them linoleum blocks because they're kind of the soft rubbery kind. So is that what linoleum? I thought linoleum was a hard surface, but we carved with knives into these rubbery kind of squares and then we rolled ink on them and made prints. And I took a class at Pratt Fine Art Center here in Seattle, and I've done that before. I've made some really beautiful prints. Oh, they're in my car. Otherwise, I would hold them up and show you in the camera, but they're on. Maybe I'll put a link to one, or maybe I'll use one as that's what I'll do. I'll use a photo of my print for the thumbnail for this video. This is going to be for my YouTube channel, Shannon Kringen in Seattle. I feel disoriented because I've been doing a pet sit for 2 weeks, and over the last few years I've been pet sitting and dog walking. And whenever I come back to my house, like I come to my house back and forth, I go back and forth between the pet house and my house. And I've got it down to a science now in terms of packing light and bringing my own coffee and food and coffee and my own bedding, my own towels, my own soap, my own food, basically. And I stay at the pet house and then I come back here and then I feel disoriented. And as you can see behind me, I have lots of clutter. I need to straighten up and organize to prepare for something. And I just feel like, does it really matter? Do the details matter? Yesterday, when I was at the art party, I was going to say, I felt like everyone was really friendly there and making cool art. And then I was thinking that I still feel like an outsider artist in a way because I am not in a fancy schmancy art gallery being represented. But then do I really care anyway? Seattle Magazine interviewed me, the Everett Herald interviewed me. I published my own poetry book. I mean, I did my own public access TV show for 15 years. And part of me did this because I self-published and self-produced my own independent art and music. And now I'm doing music at Interactive Jack Records, Seattle. And I do this because I assume I've never really tried very hard to be officially curated into a fancy gallery or officially published. I assume that I would just get rejected because I'm eccentric, I'm weird. I'm really lucky that Seattle Magazine published an article about my art car because the journalist decided that I was part of Seattle history, and he goes and looks for unusual parts of Seattle, and he decides that, so he thought I was interesting enough to be interviewed for the Seattle Magazine piece about how I'm part of Seattle history and I'm part of the artistic culture in Seattle. I've been a figure model for many years in Seattle since 1992. And I'm thinking, does any of this matter? Does it matter? Like, I'm proud of it and I'm grateful. Maybe that's my ego. Like, I'm grateful that I was published in Seattle Magazine. My name is in Seattle Magazine. They talked about my art. They showed me my art car. But then if I feel empty inside, does it matter? And then you think, I've wanted to be famous since I was a little kid. Like, I've wanted to be a famous artist since I was 3 years old and I saw Shirley Temple on TV. But then I think, does it really matter if you're famous or not famous? If you achieve any external, like if you become a doctor or a lawyer. I've never, ever wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer. And thankfully, my parents did not pressure me to become a doctor or a lawyer. They don't care about that. They just want me to be happy and do what I love. And I suppose they wish that I was more conventional. Maybe they wish just for my own well-being, they wish that I was like more settled and more. I don't really know what they wish for me, but let's just say that my parents never really put pressure on me to be a doctor or a lawyer or achieve. I don't feel that kind of pressure from my family, but if anything, I feel a lack of something from my family. But I feel like, what's the purpose of me being on this earth? Like, everybody's purpose is probably just to be their own unique individual self and pursue their dreams and do what they love. The people that I admire are trailblazers and rebels and iconoclastic type unusual people, the artists, the musicians, the poets, the philosophers, um, just trailblazers that are not afraid to stand out and do something unusual. And when you are one of these people, when you are an eccentric outsider kind of person, you either get totally ignored because you're so weird that nobody even wants to look at you, or I think you get heavily criticized, or maybe the third option is you actually get appreciated, like some of the artists and musicians that stand out that are recognized for their unique contribution to the world of art or music or poetry or whatever. So I'm thinking, okay, external results, that's good. My desire to be famous, is that some kind of ego driven, because I'm insecure with myself? Probably part of it is, even Bette Midler said, the desire to be famous is kind of a neurotic sickness in some level, because you want external validation. But then I've heard other actors, other famous actors say, no, it's coming from a deeper place than that. It's coming from a true heart and soul, a heartfelt desire to connect and tell stories through filmmaking. I've heard actors say this, that they want to um, tell a story and move an audience, and they feel like their heart's really in it, and they're not doing it for ego gratification, although it is nice to, be recognized for your work as an actor, I'm sure, and make good money doing it. But the thing is, if you're doing it for because you really love it, as opposed to wanting to be famous and thinking that if other people like you, then you will like yourself. Like, there's times when I feel like I'm really doing what I love, whether people like it or not is fine with me, because I just have to express myself. And then I'm thinking, maybe I'm too self-conscious, maybe doing this video monologue. See, here I go again, doing a video monologue where I'm talking about the self-consciousness of being Shannon Nicole Kringen. So I just washed my art car. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm taking care of three cats. One of them has no teeth, and I hand feed her with a spoon. These are just some of the details of my day. I have another cat I'm taking care of. I have other dogs. I have art modeling. I have medical modeling where I'm an actor for medical students. I feel like I have an eyelash in my eye a little bit. I need to clean and organize my space. I'm feeling that's what I was going to say. I want to liberate myself. It would be nice if I just didn't worry about it. I just want to do what I love. And like, I wrote a poem called Ripple Effect. And actually, we have a new song called Butter the Wings, or Butter the Wing. Spread the Kring, butter the wing. I wrote a poem and it rhymes, and we are making a new song about it. So that's our latest song. I have 17 songs. I'm going to be mailing Nancy Guppy from Art Zone, the Seattle channel, a copy of that, and other interesting people that ask for a copy. I am excited about connecting in that way. I'm open to being a guest on Art Zone with Nancy Guppy on the Seattle channel. I don't know if that will happen. Maybe I'm too much of a misfit outsider artist. I don't know what you want to call me. I'm neurodivergent. Uh, some people think that you're exploiting yourself when you say that, or you're just trying to get special attention. I'm not interested in worrying about what people judge me for, but I'm just acknowledging that. It would be nice to just totally not worry about external validation, but we're on this earth actually to experiment and, in my opinion, explore. And we all have an inner life and an outer life, meaning we have our own private thoughts and our own private dreams that are unique, and nobody quite knows what it's like to be another person. I mean, I don't know what it's like to be you, and you don't know what it's like to be me. Everyone is totally unique, literally. So that's our inner life. And to some extent, in my opinion, to be an artist partly means that I take my inner self and I express it outwardly. Um, like my non-representational abstract art is an intuitive feeling that I have that I express and I explore outwardly. Like, I will hold this up. This business card of mine. This is the camera's not really focusing, but um, focus camera. I don't know why it's not focusing, but this is a painting. This is a print that I did that's completely abstract. It's just these interesting shapes, this green and red abstract shapes. And then that's a photo I took, a self-portrait, black and white, and then I superimposed it digitally. But this is totally like subconscious. Here's the other piece of art. I've showed this before, but oh, it goes like this. But this is a pastel drawing I did, and I had it printed onto a mouse pad, but it's like Catch the Windsong Spiral Drive is the name of this visual art, but this is also a name of a poem which became a song. So Catch the Windsong Spiral Drive is a poem, a song, and a painting that I did. And I'm just illustrating that my subconscious or my inner life, whatever you want to call it, wants to create something and then put it out into the world. I guess it's that question of when a tree falls and nobody's there, does it really make a sound? If nobody's there to witness the tree falling, does it make a sound? And I would say, yes, it still makes a sound. So, in other words, my inner life still matters to me, whether I express it outwardly or not. Just like your inner life matters, hopefully, to you, whether you share it with anybody or not. Like, in other words, maybe it doesn't matter. Like I am a little bit famous in Seattle, but what does that even mean? All of that fame means is I've created a TV show called Goddess Kring on public access, and people remember me for that. I have been recognized as an art model for painting shoes for Tori Amos, top hat for Tom Petty. I have my art car, Opal Moonstone. People recognize me. Oh, are you that lady from TV? Or are you the lady who paints shoes? Or you're that art model? Or you're the lady who published your own poetry book or published your own art book. But then I think, well, does that really matter? Does it matter? What actually matters? What actually matters for real is that I'm a human being and I'm breathing and my heart is beating and I have a brain and you are a human being watching me or listening to what I'm saying and your heart beats and you have a unique brain and you have your own unique, fingerprints and fingers and hands and um everybody has their own thing that they do. So what am I saying? It would be nice if I could liberate myself from worrying so much about everything and not to some extent I think it's good. People say don't overthink it. Well, I was thinking, well, don't underthink it. It's like I like to think, but it's just true. I never find the answer. I never figure out the answer. There is no answer. I worry a lot and I have all kinds of fears and anxieties and I feel conflicted. I feel like it's a contradiction. I'm kind of shy. I'm kind of quiet. I'm kind of loud. I'm kind of wanted to be famous and then I want to be a famous artist. At the same time, I don't even care. Part of me wants to get in a fancy gallery. Part of me doesn't even care. Um, I used to show my art at Art Not Terminal, which is a non-juried gallery. And some people go, oh, well, that's not real. If it's not juried, it's not a real gallery because, anybody can get in. You just have to pay a fee to hang your art. So whether your art sucks or it's good, you can show it there. That's true. um, but then again, I've gone to the art walk and I've seen art that I didn't think was particularly very amazing. And yet it's in a fancy schmancy art gallery. So hey, it's subjective, isn't it? So different people have different ideas about what is good art and what is not good art. And I guess the bottom line is we do what we love and then we see what kind of ripple effect we create. I mean, I wrote a poem called Ripple Effect and I recorded it with Dave Flowers at Interactive Jack Records and it's on our first album. We're working on our second album now. So what really matters? that I'm speaking into the camera right now. Hello, I'm speaking into the camera, and I feel sad about certain things in my personal life. And then I feel happy and grateful at the same time. And I'm very, very busy all the time. And then complain about it and I get tired. But then again, when I have a day off from all my other jobs, I don't know what to do with myself. And then I feel like there's too many options. And I'm supposed to clean and organize my space. Now, let's say cleaning and organizing my space, like I have a lot of clutter and I tend to like to do five different things at the same time. So, like, I'm working on another poetry book. I'm working on videos and photos. I'm working on music. I'm working on my art modeling. I'm working on all my other jobs. So I'm supposed to organize my space. I need to let some things go, keep, toss, donate, recycle, and then put my clutter away, stack it up in neat little piles, and let go of some of the clutter and do the whole feng shui thing with it. Clear your clutter with feng shui. I think that's the name of a book that I really like. I sometimes watch videos on people who clean and organize their space. So I'm just feeling like I've been really, 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 really busy lately. And I keep saying yes to everything that's offered to me. And I feel like I'm almost on a conveyor belt and I can't get off. You know, like that I Love Lucy episode where they're, what was it, chocolate? Where they're in a working in a chocolate factory or something and they can't, the conveyor belt keeps going faster and faster and faster and they cannot keep up with it. So then Lucy starts eating the eating the chocolate, whatever. It's a ridiculous comedy routine. Well, I love Lucy, Lucille Ball. Thank you very much for your comedy. May you rest in peace. Um, I feel kind of like I'm stuck on a conveyor belt and I can't get off. And then people say that they admire that or they envy people who have like a normal full-time job, and with a normal schedule that's the same every single day and it gets boring and it's routine. They say, "Oh, I envy you. You're a freelance. You can choose yes or no. You can create your own schedule." But I don't feel like it. I feel like I have to say yes to everything. So maybe that's part of my autism. I have this rigid way of thinking that I have to say yes to everything. Yes, 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 yes. If I'm available, I have to say yes. I never feel like it's okay to take a day off for myself. And yet I do obviously need a day off to work on my own stuff sometimes. The other day I got a pedicure, which was a big splurge for me, although I found a place with a really good price. And I had my toes, I had a pedicure and they polished my toes. I picked a blue color. I usually always pick green, but I picked blue this time. And it was just, it was a little sad to me that it was so hard for me to do that. Like it took, an hour and a half out of my day. And I was really busy doing things for other people. And I just really, it was a cold day and I really just wanted a foot massage and it's actually less expensive than getting a full body massage to go in and get a pedicure because you soak your feet in the hot water and like the jets are on, like it's a jacuzzi for your feet, and then they give you like a calf massage and a foot massage, and then they, you know, straighten up your cuticles on your toes. And it just felt so good to have my feet like pampered. It'd been like several months. Um, and it was just such a nice feeling. And I was so grateful that I could afford to do that for myself and kind of treat myself and splurge on myself a little bit in that way. But it felt like an indulgence and like it was hard for me to do that. It was hard for me to spend that money on myself. It was hard for me. I'm very frugal and when I had a cat, I used to spend more money on his food than my food, I think. I used to buy him really fancy schmancy raw meat for cats that was frozen, and I would feed him super high quality food. So I'm just thinking all these thoughts. So I wish I could just slow my thoughts down, clean, organize my space, and get all my CDs, music, and poetry books, my original Kring Flower music CDs out to mail for several people that asked for them. And then a couple people I'm surprising them, some artists and musicians that I'm surprising with copies of my poetry and music. So I'm sharing, I feel compelled to do that, knowing that the external results maybe that's just none of my business what the external results are. So I still feel compelled to make poems and photos and video monologues and music and share it with whoever wants to listen to it or visualize it. Whoever wants to listen to these videos. My YouTube channel is not particularly popular. If you like my videos, feel free to like and subscribe. Feel free to share this video with anyone. Um, I just feel compelled to express this into the camera. I'm definitely not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not very popular. I've been on YouTube since 2005. That's 19 years. And I have like 1,200 subscribers, or is it 2,000? I don't even remember, but it's not very many. So, um, I don't know if I'm shadow banned or because I'm controversial or because I'm just not that interesting. I don't know. But I love what I do. I love me. I love being myself. Um, I am inspired by, well, Tom Petty. I'm very much inspired by Tom Petty. He represents somebody who followed his dream to me since he was a little kid, and he just fell in love with music, and that's really all he ever did. And he wrote many, many, many beautiful songs, and he wrote and recorded them and performed them, and he was on this earth for 66 years, and he got his kicks until the age of 66. And like the song Route 66, rock and roll, rock and roll. So there it is. So, and then neighbor's dog is barking. I think I'm going to go for a walk. I just am random, right? Like I'm just doing a random improv monologue, and I have a sense of purpose. I'm going to hand feed a kitty tonight. Tonight is my last night at a pet sit for 2 weeks. Pet sitting three cats that live together, and one of them needs to be hand fed with a spoon, literally. Like I strain her food and turn it into the texture of baby food, and I feed it to her, and she licks it off the spoon, and it's time consuming, but she's a really sweet kitty, and she cuddles with me all night. So she's got a strong spark to live on this earth, even though she has painful gum inflammation and no teeth. Her teeth were removed, but her gum still hurts. So it's a long story, but I'm special needs, taking care of a cat with special needs is what I meant to say. See, I say things kind of backwards and sideways. I don't know if that's my autism or my dyslexia or my ADHD. People say that my thoughts are racing and they can hardly keep up with me. People say I'm very repetitive. I know this. People say that that I have so many different thoughts, it's hard for them to keep up with me. So I don't know if that's how everyone interprets me or just some people. I don't know. I'm expressing myself. I am making sure that I'm not so much of a perfectionist that I don't get my work done. But if anything, I go too far in the other direction. Like there's people that are perfectionists so that they never really finish anything or do anything artistically. And then there's people who maybe are, for me anyway, I witnessed other people being perfectionists and that got in their way of doing their art. So I decided to do the opposite. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I'm not going to be a perfectionist. I'm going to do as good as I can and say that's good enough and just put it out there. The drawback to that is some of my work is not as good as other parts of my work. And so editing, it would be good if I learned to edit. And like if I take 10 photos of a tree, there's usually one or two of the photos of the tree that's the best. And the best thing to do is to share the best few photos that you take of a tree instead of showing 10 photos of a tree that are all very similar. If you go to my Flickr, Shannon Kringen Flickr, you'll see thousands of pictures. And I used to be so good at only putting my best pictures up there and putting them into separate categories and albums like nature, water droplets, self portraits, abstract, plants, animals, photos of my paintings, photos of my hand painted shoes, many different kinds of photos I take, black and white, color, urban, natural, urban decay, unusual water droplets and water reflections, neon lights at night. These are some of the different categories. Abstract close-ups of things, and you don't know what it is. I zoom in on things, and you can't even tell what it is that I'm photographing, like the texture of something. Um, but right now, my Flickr is a bit disorganized, and I share like me as a model, me as a photographer, many different kinds of things. It would be nice if I could just liberate myself and just be happy. Is it a Zen, Buddhist, or Taoist thing to be happy with what you have instead of thinking you wish you could make something happen in a certain way? You are happy with what you have. You make the best of what you have. So I have an abundance amount of work offered to me, and I keep saying yes to it, and I surf the waves. The drawback is that I get exhausted. So I either need to make peace with the fact that I keep saying yes to things and that maybe I will never learn to say no in a more balanced way so that I have more time to rest and do other things besides all the other things people want me to do for them. Work more for myself would be nice. Make peace with it. If I'm not willing to make different choices and say no to things more often, I need to just make peace with the fact that I say yes and I just surf the waves. I guess that's mostly what I feel right now, that I just intuitively am following a certain path. And maybe there is no perfect, like if I was the perfect version of me, I would say no to people sometimes so that I could have a day off to do my own thing sometimes. But then when I have a day off, I don't know if I fully enjoy it. I almost like it better when somebody else needs me to show up for them. Maybe that's just the way that I collaborate with other people because I like to think of myself as an introvert mostly. But when I say I'm an introverted extrovert or an extroverted introvert, I'm mostly driven to pay attention to my inner world and then create art. I like working with other people though, like taking care of their pets, modeling for art classes. That's my way of feeling like I belong to in the community, is to be an art model or to work with medical students and pretend to be a patient and follow a script and role play. So these are just some of the ways in which I engage with other people. Okay, I guess I've rambled enough. I guess I'm not really coming to any conclusion. I'm just telling you how I feel today. I guess that's all is this is Shannon Nicole Kringen in Seattle telling you how I'm feeling. I did recently make a new video of animals that I videotaped out in nature and as the visual, and then the audio was one of our new songs called Bun Dance. So I'm learning my video editing skills. I still want to make the Goddess Kring documentary. I'm taking baby steps on that. And I still am open to interviewing people about my public access show. But I also need to balance that, taking care of like cleaning and organizing my space, like all the clutter that's behind me, uh, and navigating my complicated schedule, making sure to get enough exercise and sleep and healthy food, basic self-care, navigating the relationships that I have with other people, feeling easily irritated by other people sometimes and liking a lot of time to myself. Definitely like living by myself. I sometimes wish that I could have a spouse and be like a normal person that has a spouse, but I think I'm probably meant to live by myself the rest of my life. But who knows? I don't know. But I'm 56 now, so I've never been married, never had kids, live by myself. I'm an only child. I'm left-handed, earth monkey. Okay, so yeah, I know that I recap everything, almost every video. Is that autistic of me or what? Or ADHD or dyslexic? I don't know. That I recap. I'm constantly reminding, like I'm assuming that if you are watching, if anybody's actually listening to this besides me all the way through this video, it could be that it could be that I'm the only one that watches my videos because I watch the videos all the way, or I mostly listen all the way through because I'm trying to learn something. So Shannon Kringen, hello. This is me talking to me. I'm trying to figure out, why am I on this earth? What makes me happy? What do I have to offer myself? What do I have to offer other people? Um, what really matters? So I hope you get something out of this video, Shannon Kringen, and I hope if anyone else is listening that's not me, I hope you get something out of this video, that you feel inspired to do something you love or try something new, or just trust yourself that you know what's best for you, and maybe nobody else knows what's best for you. Maybe you're the only one who knows what's best for you. Um, could be. So, yep, I am going to do my other stuff now. Bye for now. Thanks for listening. Keep you updated. This is me signing off for December 2nd, 2024. Um, yeah, I would like to liberate myself from worrying about what I achieve or what I don't achieve, and whether something is egotistical or not, or why am I doing everything that I'm doing? I'm learning as I go. Like I make art and I share it with people, but it might be nice if I could just relax and not have to do all that. I don't know. But I just feel compelled. Like I'm going to mail all these music CDs to all these people that wanted them, and hope they enjoy the music. Dave Flowers and I make the music, and then we share it with people, and hopefully other people like the music. We definitely enjoy making it. So what really matters, probably, here's my green glasses, is that we make music and we enjoy making our music. But when a musician makes music, they obviously are hoping that other people might enjoy it as well. So there. Bye for now.